next up we've got Commodity Awakening. So break down this one for us. What's the whole song about?
It was inspired by something that Keith Flint said to me. It was the last conversation that we ever had in a taxi on the way to the airport in Rio, and he said, "You're going to find out soon, Gears, that you're just a commodity." It's quite a painful thing for someone to tell you, but I also kind of like came away from that thinking, well, we're all commodities, and it's that stuck with me for years. In fact, for some weird reason, I had a bit of a block with the word. I kept on trying to remember the conversation. What was that word? Product. No, that's not that. Kept on trying to think, and eventually, commodity. That's what it is. And I was mulling over this, what he said to me for a long time. But again, I kept on trying. What is that word again? Someone remind me. Is it product? No. Whoa. I thought, what I'm going to have to do? I'm just going to have to write a song with the word in. So I stop forgetting the word. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I do that. Yeah. I'll write a song purposely with the word that I want to really kind of stop struggling to find,
Yeah.
So I did that with this, but the whole commodity thing is like, well, none of us want to be treated like a commodity. It's sort of like it's a cheap thing. It's cheapening, isn't it? You don't want that. It's the thought of someone doing that to you is really dirty, and it makes you feel really low. You don't want that. But at the same time, you shouldn't be treating other people like it as well. So it's that kind of thing. If we're going to evolve as humans, then we got to address this commodity thing.
As well, that must be quite difficult as well, being in the music industry where everything is a commodity.
Oh, you want to bet. But it's the way how people treat each other people like commodities. A phrase that maybe someone, if anyone who's listening to this may have been in a band, maybe someone has said to them, you can always be replaced. Because that's a terrible thing to say to someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if someone says that, then it's like, hold on, you're really overstepping the line here. They're making me feel cheap. And it isn't that easy to replace people, and you shouldn't think of it like that way. If you replace someone, there could be damage caused by that, the dynamics and so on, but so
sometimes a replacement in a band can actually work really well.
Oh, of course.
But
I'm not going to mention them. But sometimes not.
Famously, Iron Maiden, when Paul Di'Anno was replaced by Bruce Dickinson, and all of a sudden Iron Maiden exploded internationally as a result of that. The song's also got one of a number of guest appearances on this one. You've got
Charlie Harper.
Yeah,
I managed to sort of talk him into singing backing vocals on that one. We went down there. He was going to do a guest spot on one of the tracks. It's a later track, but then I talked him into doing backing vocals for that. So we're really chuffed. We recorded lots and lots of takes, and we really multi-layered them so that it sounds like a big mob. So we was happy with that. And again, in this one, that it started off with that chord pattern. But the song actually, I went on holiday to the States and I was with the family. And when I was in the States, again, the song just started writing itself. I just started kind of turning over phrases in my mind, and I put them into the notes in my phone, and it was just writing itself, which I was really pleased with that opening line, or that praying just to find an empty heaven. I just think that's one of my favourite lines in one of the songs. And anyway, so the riff with this one, it's going like this. So we got one of these things. One of these chords. Yeah, so right, so this chord is basically when you play a power chord and then you drop the finger down one fret and you get that effect. But when you put it next to this, it sounds grand. It sounds really epic. It's got that, you know, it's a really huge sound. And then we got this thing. I mean, if you just play that on its own, yeah, it's got almost a James Bond feel to it, and the way how the chord is landing, it's got this funny little thing inside it. These three notes that are right close to each other. Again, you don't know these things, and then you think, why do I like it? You know, it's because it's got these little movements inside the chord. This one's got like quite a full-on guitar solo. So there's like all sorts of different things going on in there, which are kind of, you know, I've got like different sort of fast picking techniques.
Yeah.
And then there's some kind of like where I'm not hardly picking at all, you know, maybe one pick. You know, there's hardly any picks going on in that. It's all pulling off, you know. So it's nice. I like mixing up stuff like that. If you're just playing one way all the time, you use like one muscle group and your hand gets really stiff, you know, your wrist gets stiff, your arm gets stiff, because you just use one muscle group. So it's nice to mix it all up, you know.
So probably helps quite as well. Your background is so varied as well. I mean, right away from English Dogs to Prodigy, nothing you've done has ever been quite the same.
Yeah. Well, people they've appreciated that, you know. I've been called versatile, you know, by some people, and yeah, that's good. I mean, with this album, I feel like this is really what I wanted to do, you know, because when you're in someone else's band, you have to abide by what they want, you know. You can't just rip their baby apart, you know. When I played with Steve Ignorant, playing the Crass stuff, I mean, I really loved that. I thought that was a great time, you know, because I was a huge fan of Crass when I was, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. A massive fan of them. But a lot of people, they'd say to me, how can you be in, you know, it's very noisy music. But I just had the ability to just hear everything that was going on in it. So I could hear what all the guitarists and the bassists and the drums, I could hear that they were, actually, it was very clever stuff. It was very well arranged, lots of rhythms, lots of melodies going on. But yeah, there was a lot of distortion. But I mean, come on, you know, there's a lot of distortion on, you know, Metallica, Slayer, you know, and stuff like that. And they're using some unusual sort of changes and things. You just have to hear past that, don't you? Hear the beauty in it, you know. I enjoyed that.